humans, I'm Jackie and this is the Simple Sprinkle. Welcome back to another episode where I try other foodies' recipes. And today's recipe is a request from Sal. Thank you so much for requesting this recipe. I'm really intrigued because there have been some split minds about this recipe. If you go especially in the comment section, there are people that really love this recipe and people that really hate this recipe, and so we will try to make it. And it is ovenly secretly salted vegan chocolate chip cookies. It's gonna be a 2-day recording because the dough has to rest 12 to 24 hours. So I'm preparing the dough today, and then tomorrow we will bake them and see how they turned out. I don't know if you can hear that, but this is the AC. I'm gonna turn it off real quickly. And this time I'm gonna be a little bit more professional and actually put on my apron. But yeah, I have an apron. Now I have my apron on. Don't have to worry about getting dirty. So, put you guys a little bit more in this direction so you see what's going on better. It's tight as always. First of all, we need to put the flour, all-purpose flour, into a bowl with some other dry ingredients. I prefer unbleached all-purpose. It's 250 grams, which is 2 cups. Now I have a little bit too much. And then we need 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And then we also need 3/4 of baking soda. And then half a teaspoon fine salt. Add chocolate chips to the flour mixture and toss to coat. Okay, they don't have the grams for the chocolate chips for some reason. Sorry guys. Okay, so the flour mixture is now done, and now we add a lot of chocolate chips. I may just do 1. Yeah, that's 180 grams. I think that's enough. Interesting. Usually you put, like, I only know cookie recipes where you like put the chocolate chips at the end and you fold them into the dough. Okay, so this mixture needs to be put aside now, and then we need to prepare the wet ingredients with the sugars. So now we need 100 grams sugar. I'm using cane sugar because I always use cane sugar. It doesn't say granulated or what kind of sugar, so I'm sure cane will be fine. This is by the way, I told you last time already, the organic cane sugar from Target. Half a cup pack light or dark brown sugar, 110 grams. Unfortunately, I didn't pay attention to my sugar and it is a little bit crumbled, so I'm trying to make it as fine as possible. I'm just gonna grab it and crumble it. So I added the sugar now, though it's nice and fine. I was just thinking about something about this whole, like, is this recipe working or not? And I was just thinking about, like, how, for example, me as a European, as a German girl, measuring with a scale is what we do. We don't really use cups like Americans do. And so for many, many years when I lived in Germany, I did not know that cups and teaspoons and tablespoons in the United States are a specific measurement that you have to buy. I thought, oh yeah, I'm just using a cup, you know, like a mug. And so American recipes often wouldn't work for me because I didn't know better. And then also, depending on where you live, I live in a very dry environment and also in high altitude, so just keep that in mind when I test recipes. So far I didn't have too many problems with the high altitude. In the beginning I had to get adjusted to it. It's just like, you know, getting used to where you live and maybe pay more attention to your surroundings and the climate, because they do play a role into baking. Okay, so now we need half a cup plus 1 tablespoon canola, grapeseed, or any other neutral oil. I have vegetable oil. Half a cup, which is 120 milliliters. Plus 1 tablespoon is 15 milliliters. 1/4 cup water plus 1 tablespoon, 60 milliliters. Okay, so now, and then we will add the flour mixture to the sugar mixture and stir with a wooden spoon or rubber spatula until it just combined and no flour is visible. Do not over mix. And that's already it. I think cookies is like one of the like easy, simple baking things that I would always recommend for baking beginners to try out, because they're not too complicated, just like maybe cupcakes or muffins. They don't take up too much time, like layer cakes and all that stuff. I think cookies are just one of the most fun things to do because they're delicious, right? Now that we've mixed this, I'm gonna add the flour. It's very liquid. Theirs looks a little bit drier than this, to be honest, so I think I might just add 1 or 2 tablespoons of flour to this. Very interesting way of making cookies. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave it like that. I don't want to change up too much of how they wanted it to be. This is how it looks like. It's very oily in my opinion. But yeah, we will see how much the flour maybe will soak up the rest. I'll put the bowl cover on this. If you watched the first episode of me trying new recipes of other foodies, you've already seen my little reusable bowl cover. And I will just cover it like that, put it in the fridge overnight. I will let it sit for 24 hours. And then I see you tomorrow when we're ready to bake them. It is the next day. The dough has rested for 24 hours now. This is how it looks. I'm really glad I prepared this yesterday because a water main broke this morning in the area and we didn't have any water for the whole freaking day. I couldn't do a lot of dishes or anything, which is really annoying, and we hope the water will be back by tonight, but we don't know. We didn't get any information despite an email this morning from our apartment complex. The oven is preheating. Yeah, and we're gonna bake them, and I'm really curious how they will turn out because this dough looks really interesting. I started with 6 cookies now. These go into the freezer for 10 minutes before I bake them, and we will see how they will turn out. I'm not sure how good they will hold their shape, how they will melt. My hands are super greasy. I wet them a little bit. So yeah, it's not a typical cookie dough really, and I'm really curious how they will turn out. So these will go into the freezer. When I see how they spread, I will do a bigger batch because I don't want them to grow into each other for too much. So while these were freezing, I prepared the other ones, and I'm gonna put these now in the oven to see how they will turn out. And they have to go in the oven for 12 to 13 minutes. While they are baking, I put these in the freezer now. And see you in 10-12 minutes. Okay, it's time to get out the first batch to see how they look like. This is how they look like. They look amazing. They look great. There goes the next batch. And I did 13 minutes. Okay, let's grab you guys. Here's the first batch. Okay, I already took a bite and forgot to start the recording. Sorry about that. But I have to say they are delicious. They are great. This is how they look like. They are like Subway cookies. The outsides are crunchy and the inside is like soft, chewy, gooey. I really like this recipe. For me, they turned out great. From my perspective, I can just recommend them. I don't know why people have such problems with this recipe. As I mentioned earlier, maybe it is because of climate changes, different ingredients in different countries. Flour in Germany is operating and working a little bit different than it is here. The flour is just an example. It could be all these kind of things, you know. I can really recommend this recipe. It's a great cookie recipe, and yeah, that was already it. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any other recommendations, let me know. I want to hear them. I want to try them. I already have 2 other things in the queue from one of my friends, Monica. She wants me to try her gluten-free cheesecake recipe, so that will be next week, and then I will do the other recommendation from Sal. And I also wanted to mention I don't only do baking, I also do cooking, so if you want to see something more hearty, that's fine too. I don't limit this on just baking. I just really like to bake. But yeah, if you haven't already, subscribe. Don't forget to put on the bell so you see and get a notification when I'm uploading new videos. I'm really trying hard to make this a regular thing again. I'm also hoping to do more vlogs about my life in the United States as a German. Thank you so much for watching and see you next week.